Hello. About 3 weeks ago, having become a little bit disenchanted with how the mainstream media was reporting the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the performing arts industry, I sat down and started writing a blog post, which I do occasionally. They tend to entertain a couple of hundred people when I publish them. Anyway, this one kind of got a bit out of hand, started to get a life of its own. And having completed it, I had this rather harebrained idea to send it off to the national press to see if it would be of interest to any of them. So that was where the first problem came in, because I don't have any tribal allegiances in politics, in sport, or even music for that matter. My allegiances tend to only be to my family, my friends, my business associates, and my students. The teams I support are by and large the teams I play for. So I didn't really have a particular home in mind for it. So I identified a selection of middle and upmarket newspapers: the Times, the Guardian, the Telegraph, the Daily Mail, the Express, and the Eye. And off it went, and I sort of thought no more about it, didn't hear anything. And lo and behold, Tuesday morning, quite early on, it came to my attention quite rapidly that an edited version of this blog post had ended up on the letters page of the Daily Mail. And I know a lot of you have seen it, and I just wanted to come on here today and say thank you for all the likes and all the shares and all the comments and all the texts and emails and phone calls that have been coming in pretty much constantly since Tuesday morning. Now, I don't presume to speak on behalf of anybody. I'm not an advocate, I'm not a campaigner. All I felt was that our end of the performing arts industry, those of us who don't have tens of millions of pounds in the bank, was going to be really struggling in the long term for recovery. I mean, it's a simple matter of fact. The more money you've got, the better insulated you are from hardship. That doesn't take much understanding. And what I recommend everybody does, and I've done a bit of it since the piece in the Mail appeared on Tuesday, is get in touch with the mainstream media. Tell them what it's like at the coalface, the day-to-day life of the performing artist. Because if the people who consume the mainstream media, if all they ever hear about is, Elton John and Cameron Mackintosh and Helen Mirren, Paul McCartney, lovely though they all are, they get this rather skewed and false impression that everybody in the performing arts industry, we're all multi-millionaires and we're just sitting at home in our palatial houses that look like wedding cakes, wearing designer clothes and smoking opium all day. And of course, that's not really entirely the reality of the situation that is faced by people like me and like a great many of you who are staring down the barrel of potential future hardship. So keep pestering the mainstream media. Every broadcast journalist, every national newspaper journalist who you follow on Twitter, keep at them constantly. There's lots of great stuff going on out there. Particularly commendable is the Facebook group Musicians Movement, which if you don't know about it, you should get involved right away. They're doing some really good stuff to raise awareness right across the board. I wasn't going to do anything further after what got published the other day. But having given it some thought, I have written a proposal to the Secretary of State for Culture, Oliver Dowden, earlier today, with some ideas that I've come up with as to how grassroots venues could possibly find a way back into some sort of normality. So anyway, keep pestering the living daylights out of those newspapers, phone the radio phone-ins, tweet whoever it is that you follow, and keep everybody on message that the ordinary working musicians, actors, all of the support staff, the technicians, the people who work at the box office, you know, the crew, everybody, the road crew, you know, we all know who they are. And let's make sure that the public know who we are and what we stand to lose and what they can do to keep our message out there. And I hope to see you all on a stage in a venue very soon.